Welcome back to the Gridiron Goons. I'm your host, Preacher. I'm with Brandon.
Hello.
And with Sean O'Mac.
Hello.
And we have a special guest today. We like special guests here. We got Dallas.
Say hi. He's camera shy.
He's camera shy. Well, we're not here at the studios.
This is so weird for me.
We're here at Preacher's house or Preacher's studios for the day.
The humble abode.
Got diaper party today, so we figured we would record our College Monday episode early.
Yes.
Because Ohio State beat Texas last night, and Notre Dame won on a walk-off field goal on Thursday night. And so we figured we would give you the kind of the wrap-up. Now, Evo, he doesn't talk, right?
Yeah, not much.
Not much. This is really weird. I'm not going to lie.
I bet.
So I might just hand you the ball this time, right?
I wouldn't do that because I would be spitting nonsense.
Oh. Well, Thursday night, let's get into the Notre Dame-Penn State game.
What a game.
Sean, this game was... This was a barn burner between two teams that, would I say, are not the elite of the elite.
Right.
Right? Like, when we look at college football... These two teams, they're there. Penn State always seems to not be able to...
Win the big game.
Right, win the big game. Notre Dame, they're there and they're not there all at the same time. They lost earlier in the season to, Northern Illinois. Yep.
Ew.
Yeah, they lost to Northern Illinois. So,
I don't know who that is.
So one thing I'm taking away from this game, I watched the whole game. Abdul Carter is the real deal. The day after he declares for the draft, we knew he was going, but I'm telling you guys what, he's going to be a first-day pick, and he's going to be a beast. He reminds you of a lot of Chop Robinson. He played alongside him last year. He's an end. Abdul Carter, yeah. He wrecked the whole game. He was constantly in the backfield, beating the just his jump off the ball is phenomenal. The dude's got the whole package.
you know who does not have the full package? Penn State.
Oh.
Because Penn State had this game really, honestly, the way it unfolded, Penn State should be really upset with themselves because they had more rushing yards on the ground, less passing yards, but the problem is they let Notre Dame stay in the game. And, when you look at the box score, when you look at the box score, maybe not the box score.
Come on, man.
Oh, no. Anyhow, whatever. Penn State should have won this game. Penn State scored 10 in the second quarter and 14 in the fourth quarter to pull, to 24. Notre Dame, 3 in the second quarter, was shut out in the first quarter, 7 in the third, and 17 points in the fourth quarter. And that's a mistake.
Yeah.
That's a mistake on Penn State's part. I think two things here.
What'd they do? Take their foot off the gas? What'd they do?
They just
kept hanging around.
Yeah.
They let them just hang around, man.
To me, it was one of those games like the Texas-Arizona State game. They didn't finish the game. They could have finished the game. They had many of opportunities to finish the game. But it always felt like it wasn't what it needed to be. And that interception that Drew Allard threw,
yes,
that was, to me, the turning point in the game. And then Notre Dame goes down, and they win on a last-second field goal. 7 seconds left, they score the field goal, kick it up through the uprights, and they're on their way to the national championship. Now, Notre Dame, Sean, Notre Dame almost has the same rep as Penn State. They can't win the big games, right? How many times do they go into these bowl games with Alabama or Ohio State or whoever it may be, and they lose, whether it's competitive or they get blown out of the water? They can't win those big games. Well, they got a big game coming up, right? let's go to the game last night. Because the game last night was where I want to spend all of our time before we preview, the national championship.
I get that.
Ohio State, Texas. Now, this game was an absolute barn burner.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Ainsley and I were kind of laying down and getting ready to go to bed, and I usually put the game kind of on my phone. And Jack Sawyer with the scoop in the score, and I don't want to blow the mic out by any sort of imagination, but I was like, football! Scooper score! Scooper score! And thank God Ainsley had not fallen asleep yet, because I would have been a dead man and we would never been recording this podcast ever again. But that game started out, Ohio State looked like they were going to be the dominant win. Like they've had been.
Like they had the previous two games.
Right. So it's like they had the game, and then they got popped with the unsportsmanlike conduct by Travion, which that was not really in character for Travion, but it kind of was a little bit of like, that's a little soft. And I knew from that moment that this was going to be a flag-happy crew. This was going to be a flag-happy, pass interference, chippy. Like, you can't get away with anything. Texas, driving down the field, I believe it was the third quarter. Maybe it might have been the fourth quarter. They got a first down, and the guy kind of just popped Caleb Downs, threw him to the ground after the play was over. And then the worst thing he did was he pointed at Caleb Downs. And that got him a flag on it. It was a very much a really good down to get the distance, kind of shifting back into Texas's favor again. And then you got that going on. There's plenty of missed holding calls on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
I don't know. So, did you watch any of it last night?
No, I said it was going to start next season, and I mean it.
Okay. So, you know how they interviewed Jack Sawyer at the end of the game?
Yes.
You saw how his patch was falling off? Well, that's because he was held all game long, and they never called anything. And let's talk about penalties. Ohio State had 9 penalties for 75 yards. Now, 2 of those were in the fourth down or the fourth quarter final drive, and that goal line stand had 2 pass interference calls down there. They had a couple other pass interference calls throughout the game. Texas had 5 penalties for 54 yards. Ohio State. Now, this is the whole breakdown here. 18 first downs, 3 for 10 on third down, and 1 for 1 on fourth down. 370 total yards, 289 in the air.
Please tell me you've seen that catch Golden made in the first quarter.
I did.
Oh, my goodness.
81 yards on the ground. Will Howard went 24 for 33 and had a 1 interception throw, which that was that moment of the game. They were trying to get Jeremiah Smith the ball over the middle. And Texas did a really good job of bracketing Jeremiah Smith.
Yes. Did you see how they were playing him?
Yes. I mean,
guy here, and a guy here.
They were shutting him down because the past 2 games he lit up the defense. Yeah. So good, out to Starks and his defensive crew for actually maintaining and containing Jeremiah Smith. But Ohio State had that one mess up, and that was really like, and then it kind of went the other way for a little bit. Texas came into this game knowing they needed to run the ball, which they didn't.
No, not at
this
all.
game was very much a in-the-air type of game. 20 first downs for Texas, 5 for 15 on third down, which tells you how insane Ohio State's defense is, as well as
they lived in that backfield.
They did. 341 total yards, 283 in the air, and 58 on the ground. It was a game where I felt like this could be the national championship. Nothing we don't know the future. We don't know what Notre Dame and Ohio State are going to be, but this felt like the national championship.
Could have easily been, yeah.
It felt like the Ohio State-Georgia game a couple of years ago where Ohio State shanked it on the last second field goal to lose the game. As we were going into the next year, that was a great loss. I was so mad. But this game felt so much like that, and both teams played to the end.
Yeah.
And that was the best part is, there was plays where Jim Knowles got a little risky, a little like, I want to sack the quarterback, I want to end this game. And Texas, how did they score at the end of the first quarter, right? The wheel route where nobody was there. And how do they score in the third quarter? The same wheel route, or is the fourth quarter, the same wheel route. They played the same exact play, and Jim Knowles brought pressure from the free safety. Hit on it twice.
Wow.
Same play, and both of them were touchdowns. Now, Ohio State, I had a lot of range of emotions here. Because if you're an Ohio State fan, you know two things happen when Ohio State faces adversity. Either they fold under pressure, or they figure out how to figure it out. Like, they figure it out, but it doesn't always look pretty. Two things. One, scoring on that screen pass in the end of the first half.
Yes.
That was crucial because you go in, Texas just came down, smashed you in the face, scored a touchdown, and then you like, oh no, we're going into half. Let's get some points on the board. Maybe we can swing this going out of the first half. What happens? Ohio State throws a screen pass, touchdown. Almost feels like it took some of the air back out of the stadium. It was, they said 70-30 on the broadcast. But, I mean, 60-40, 80-20. Who knows? It was more of a road game for Ohio State than it was a neutral site game.
I would say that.
But Ohio State was able to go in at the half with coming out with the ball. And then it was like Ohio State, you knew they could do it. They could make it happen, but they hadn't. They didn't do enough. And, that third quarter, they didn't score a single point. And it was like, here we go. Here we go again. Like, we should have scored twice in the first quarter.
So they were tied up going into the fourth.
Yeah, it was a 14-14 game going into the fourth quarter. And it really, really, really was on the back of this Ohio State team. Will Howard, 4th and 1. They'd been playing a couple different plays here and there, and it seemed like they would get a good chunk. And then they'd get a false start or a holding call. Mm-hmm. And then they'd back themselves up. Or they'd get a first down. Then they'd get a personal foul because, some after-the-play stuff happened. There was one call did you see the call where they were fighting to get extra yards, right?
Okay.
They blew the play dead.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the book statement says, yes, that's a personal foul. That was such a bang, bang, quick whistle.
It was so quick.
And I think the other thing, too, is all the Texas players were still fighting to tackle in the moment of contact. And so it was like, okay, that was a crucial play. That was a really good play for Ohio State, then equaled with a penalty. And it felt like this was how the game was going to end up.
Yeah, but you don't make that call in this type of game. In this big a game.
Right. And I feel like sometimes you just have to let it play out. But, man, that 4th down, Will Howard runs the ball. Evo has wide open from literally could walk into the end zone in a sense. Just had to run into the end zone. What does he do? He falls. Now,
like on some Danny Dime shit?
Yes.
Now that's funny.
I would say it was a, how do I put it this way? It was like the ambulance showed up out of nowhere. And he fell, and they had to pick him up. But in reality, that actually was able for Ohio State to run some more clock out, which then put Texas in some kind of, we got to get down the field, we got to score, because now we're going to go up, and then we're going to go up late in the game.
Right. Like a 2-minute offense type?
Yeah, but it wasn't 2 minutes left in the game. It was like
They
could take some time, but they needed to at least get down the field.
They're in a hurry up.
Yeah,
sure.
Through the whole entire game, Texas would have some big explosive plays, but then Ohio State would get the rush. And so it felt like you had to get downfield, because if you didn't get downfield fast, you wouldn't be able to slow it down. So here it is. Texas is driving play after play. They're down in the red zone. And this Ohio State team, time and time again, has had fourth down or goal line stands, whether it's 1 yard line, 3 yard line. What happens? It was set it up was the PI call in the end zone.
Yeah.
Then, now, I don't like, getting a pass interference call, but Ohio State's defensive player pulled down on the hip to draw the PI call. But to be honest with you, him pulling down the hip saved Texas from scoring a touchdown. So now here it is. Ohio State's on the 1 yard, or Texas is on the 1 yard line, literally about to score, and they run a jet sweep to the left.
Yes.
And Caleb Downs sniffs it out and at least slows down the running back. I think it might have been Blue at the time. Slows him down, and so they tackle him for a loss. And now it's 3rd and 7? And then they got pressure, incomplete pass, 4th and 7. And now this, great moment. Jack Sawyer and Quinn Ewers were roommates when Quinn Ewers was in Ohio State before he transferred to Texas. So these guys know each other and go back and, they go back.
Yeah.
Jack Sawyer comes unblocked, shakes his block, comes around. Quinn is flushed out of the pocket, and Jack Sawyer gets in there, gets the ball out, and scoops and scores for the Ohio State Buckeyes. A 83-yard fumble recovery to score and put Ohio State up. And I will tell you what, man, that is, you want to talk about a kind of turnstile for Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
Ohio State-Michigan game. He was the one that was pulling the flag off when Michigan was trying to plant the flag in the field, right? So you go from a motion of, we just lost 4 times in a row to Michigan, and they had their private meeting, right? And they aired everything out. Everybody, it was super personal, and they all told each other we had 4 games. Now they're only 1 game away from completing what their mission was. Now, Jack Sawyer gets the ball, scores the touchdown, and then on the following drive, Texas was trying to go for. They got to win. They got to get it going.
They're ripping it.
Picked off, seals the game. Now, this fourth, this goal line stand for Ohio State.
Yes.
If you're Stark on the other side, why did you not give it to Arch Manning? You're on the 4th.
We talked about it.
4th and 1, and you felt I needed to run a jet sweep. I needed to run a passing play. 4th and 3, 4th and 1. You have the guy. You have Arch Manning there.
Yes.
Now, Ohio State, very physical defense. They have time and time again shut down a goal line stand. Made it happen time and time again. But when you have an elite player like Arch Manning,
yes,
in your wheelhouse and you don't use them, I bet you they will.
You can't just leave him sitting there.
You can't. Well, he did. Well, thank you, Stark.
Essentially, he did.
He did, but I think that's probably one of those moments where he should have. He probably will look back on that and go, "I probably should have put him in." So that's kind of how it happened. Now, me as a Buckeye fan, this game, it was a great game. It was exciting. I'm glad Ohio State won and not the other way around because I don't. It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, it is also really nice to see no SEC team in the national championship.
Amen. I'm with you.
So that SEC dominance that ESPN and everybody in
Herb
the SEC,
Street.
Even Herbie does it too. But all of those SEC homers out there, they don't even have a dog in the fight anymore. It's an independent in the Big Ten, and so that's kind of what happened in these.
There's got to be some announcer that's nothing but Big Ten, right?
Well, Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson, right?
I bet they're having the time of their lives.
Oh, they are. But I'm saying, ESPN notoriously talks about SEC and SEC only. So,
Yes.
that's always nice to hear. But before we get any further into this Monday college episode, and we got to get to Evo's list. Let's hear a Gridiron Goons commercial.
Flag on the commercial. That was a good shot.
It was.
We're still selling our shirts. We got the 2 GGs on the front. They come in white regularly, but we can customize them in any color you want. The back has the entire logo on it. And all these proceeds are going right to the, what's it called, the Road Dog?
No, you idiot. It's the Roadcaster.
Oh.
Roadcaster.
Now, what does that do?
It helps us so that we can make a better sounding quality so we can have 3 mics. And then when we do our Stat City announcements, we can have it pre-programmed so it sounds really cool.
Well, can I also put other sound effects in there? Because I have some dumbass sound effects I want in there.
Oh, yes, you could, for sure.
So every single shirt you buy, they are $20 a pop. $5 of that goes directly to us. These Road Dogs, as I like to call them, they're kind of expensive, but every single dollar that you guys give us is going to go directly to getting one of them so we can have a better product for you. Anyways, back to the show.
Welcome back from our commercial. Now, Brandon, you've been quiet a whole lot.
Yeah, man, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, let's get to Evo's bandwagon. Because
Brandon's bandwagon.
Yeah, Brandon's bandwagon. You got some teams to take off your list. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
It is.
Whiskey Nick, if you didn't watch our 50th episode,
Go back. It was great.
Yes, we brought in our special guest, Whiskey Nick from Keeping It Down with Whiskey Nick.
Yes.
And we appreciate him for being here. But he added USC, right?
He did. So I let him eliminate 2 teams, and the teams he chose to eliminate was the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Cal Golden Bears, which left me with 14 teams left coming into this week because he also added USC Trojans. So I was informed prior to filming that the next game in our college thing is going to be our last college episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
gonna be our
national
natty.
championship.
Yeah.
So we might have, a college wrap up after the fact, but I pretty much need to have my list all the way narrowed down by then.
Yeah, but you didn't even have Notre Dame on the list.
I added them in late, and look at them still being here. So let me read what's left of my bandwagon list. Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, LSU,
Okay.
Notre Dame,
Ugh.
the Spartans,
Ugh.
Oregon,
Ugh.
Boomer, Sooner,
Ugh.
the Tennessee Vols, Texas A&M, Holcomb Horns,
They lost.
and USC.
Why are Texas?
They're still in. We didn't get the update from this week. And that's what I'm here to do. The first team that I'm cutting.
Yes.
I know I like the chop. Florida State, you're gone. I don't think you're going to do much next season. It's a fun vibe, but I said you got to be good enough for me to talk some little bit of shit. I don't think you're going to fill that quota. So they're gone.
Wow.
And you know the exact same thing for this next team. Colorado. Bye-bye, Buffaloes. I don't think you're going to be great next year, losing, Travis Hunter and losing Shadur Sanders. So,
And Prime.
if he leaves, we don't know yet.
It's just a little reckless speculation.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that brings me down to 12.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
I've been really thinking about this list because I'm going to bring 10 into next episode.
Okay.
And depending if we are going to have a wrap-up,
Oh, we will for sure.
so that means I'll end next episode with 5, and then our last wrap-up episode, I will have my shirt already purchased.
Wait, can we add a team to the list?
No.
It's too late for that.
No.
Whiskey Nick was allowed to do it because he was a special guest, so I'm taking that into consideration. And, spoiler alert, I'm going to make him in my top 10. Okay?
So you just put him in your top 10 because some guest put him in there?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
He deserves me to think
Okay.
about it.
Okay. Alrighty.
He deserves
No
that.
problem. Okay.
So, looking at the rest of this list, honestly, I didn't think Notre Dame would be here still.
I'm
But
surprised.
with how well they're playing,
Yeah.
they're going to the national championship.
I did. I seen it.
I did. I'll be honest, and this is my list.
I
But
Georgia
keeping him.
Georgia just lost their quarterback. He transferred.
he looks just like Steve Buscemi. It's not even funny.
He does a little bit, but he's
A little.
He's getting $4 million to go play his final year. He's going to be a Hurricane.
So I don't know how true this is, but I seen one of the meme sites posted that Carson Beck asked his agent what his draft stock was, and his agent farted in the phone.
Yes.
I hope that's true.
really.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh.
But anyway, they're staying too. I know Evans went there,
But
but Texas A&M is off of my list.
whoa.
Money Manziel.
Yeah, I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can do that. So now I'm in between two. One of them is going to make my final 10. One of them is not. So I'm in between Florida,
Okay.
and I'm also in between Tennessee. A lot of my family are Tennessee fans.
And Ethan.
So
Ethan loves Tennessee.
They lost to Ohio State, dude.
they did.
They got
So did
absolutely
Texas, and I'm
boat
bringing them for sure.
raced. Yeah, but at least they made it competitive.
I'm hearing you.
You just got to jump on the Irish wagon, dude.
What does that mean?
The Irish
The
way.
fighting Irish?
Yes.
That's what he's
Notre
saying.
Dame? Oh.
I guess so.
Yeah, they're gonna make my top 10.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut Tennessee because I think I want to be a fan of a college that no one I know is a fan of.
That's right.
And you know Ethan.
Yeah, but like,
It's his family, though, man.
right.
Right.
God.
So, updated list, bringing 10 teams into next week. Bama, the Gators, Georgia Bulldogs, LSU, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Oregon, Oklahoma, Longhorns, and the USC Trojans. Those are in my top 10.
Wait a minute. Michigan State's on your list and they're crap.
Listen here, man.
So I get it, but they were my former team.
He's got to leave him in.
I have a little bit of allegiance to them, okay? I'm allowed to do that. This is my
They had
list.
Levitt.
Get your own fucking list.
Levitt was there. He leaves and he goes on to succeed.
I don't know what that means. I told you. I don't know college ball.
He doesn't.
Cam
Oh.
Scadaboo.
I know him.
There you go.
They're not even in my list.
Oh.
Ayuk went there.
But anyway, that's my top 10. So we're carrying that into next week, and then we'll cut it down from there.
Copy. Well, let's preview this Ohio State Notre Dame.
Let's go.
Game.
Where are we going?
Atlanta. If
Nobody-
you have a credit card big enough for
Nobody
us to
had
go.
this matchup at the year.
No, nobody did.
I love that.
Well, Ohio State opens this game as a 9.5-point
What?
favorite. Yes.
Is that accurate?
It's literally here on CBS Sports. So,
Dang.
so I mean, I don't know what you want me to say there, but
No, I was just taken back a little bit. I didn't.
You were taking a back?
taking aback.
I was taken back a little bit by the sudden 9-point spread.
Yeah, 9.5 points. Ohio State. Listen, they have a lot of roster talent on here. Notre Dame has a lot.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Notre Dame has a lot of heart and a lot of soul. But I think, unfortunately, it's going to come to an end. Because, obviously, I feel like Ohio State's going to win. Because we have to. There's no other point than Ohio State to win. Listen. No. Listen. Ryan Day has coached a great 4-game stretch here. And if
He had to. Or he'd be
wins,
jobless.
or 3 games so far. If he wins, then not that it rights the wrong for him losing to Michigan, but it definitely softens the blow, right? Like, I hate losing to Michigan, but if they so happen to win this national championship, it softens the blow a little bit, and then we can beat Michigan next year, and that's perfectly okay. And so I think Ohio State's going to win.
So do you think Notre Dame's going to watch the Texas film and cover number 4 like Texas was doing?
They might.
They better.
But here, Emeka Ibuka, Carnell Tate, Emeka Ibuka, Carnell Tate, G. Scott. These guys have been powerhouses, and they played really well last night. And then you have Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson in the backfield. And I think if we're talking from a roster perspective, I don't think Notre Dame adds up. And what do you want about your parlay?
That's
that you
what I
blue
missed.
chunk?
At the end of the day, it's going to come
Missed
down.
it.
Oh.
It's going to come down to Will Howard, and it's going to come down to Riley Leonard.
No one even knows who
He
Riley
missed
Leonard
his
is.
parlay.
That's that lay I missed. I was trying to find it earlier, but my phone wouldn't load.
You should
I don't know why he put
I used a
Jeremiah
no
Smith
sweat
anymore.
bet.
have seen the catch Golden had.
He
Was
did.
it legit?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Sean, what's your thoughts on this game? Because I know from a homer perspective, like, I'm picking Ohio State regardless. So.
I'm not hating. I'm just sticking with my word. I called it a few weeks ago. I got Notre Dame winning the title.
Okay.
The only problem I see is the thing that worries me about Notre Dame winning. I don't think they're capable of shutting 4 down. I don't think it's going to happen, man.
So you're picking Notre Dame, but you're not picking Notre Dame.
If that makes sense, yes.
Does that make sense, Evo?
Well, preach. At the end of the day, I just think Riley Leonard's a little bit better than Will Howard.
I don't know who that is. I have no
But
dog
no,
in
what
this
I'm saying is, can he pick Notre Dame and then also say that he doesn't think that Notre Dame will be able to beat him?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. No,
Oh.
you're right. Let me rephrase it. Notre Dame's going to win, but you better shut down 4.
Oh, so you're saying if they don't shut down 4, then they could lose. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right.
And Tom Sawyer if they play rush.
We're
It's
talking about
Jack
Rush right now?
Sawyer, not Tom.
Jack or what is it? Jack Sawyer.
Jack Sawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was talking about Rush at the same time.
I know, but he said Tom Sawyer.
That's the name of the song.
Right.
From Rush.
He got Jack Sawyer and Tom. Sawyer
You got the
mixed up.
Sawyers mixed up.
Yes. Now, Evo, you have no idea anything about college football right now.
I'm taking Notre Dame.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Preach.
I did not expect.
They're
that.
still in my list. That's why I'm taking them.
Oh, okay. Well,
If they win, they they're going to win your list, right?
They're at least going to go into the final 5.
They wouldn't be number 1.
Wow.
I don't have to do that. This is my list. I can pick whatever
That's
I want.
silly.
No, it's
If
not.
they win the Natty?
Texas is still in my list, going in the top 10. They just lost.
That's true.
I can do what I want.
And he doesn't even have Ohio State in. This list is silly because if Ohio State
silly.
wins, he doesn't even have them on there either.
I don't want to be a Buckeye fan.
Or Michigan.
Worthless.
You don't have Michigan on the list.
Both of them fan bases suck.
Sean.
Ain't that right, Dallas? Do they suck? You got to say words, yes or no.
Yes.
I
Duncan?
thought so. Duncan.
He's asleep.
He says, sweet.
Well, then, is there anything else here, Sean? You think anything else that people need to know about this Notre Dame Ohio State game?
No, Ohio State's been coming out quick, man. They've been coming on quick, so Notre Dame better be ready for that. Like, they've been coming out of the gate swinging, jumping on teams.
There's a tight end that Notre Dame, Mitchell Evans.
Yes.
If they utilize him,
Yes.
he's more predominantly kind of a blocking. He's really good, but he's more like a block. He blocks more than he catches. But if they are able to sneak him behind the defense, that could be a good matchup there for Notre Dame.
And
Mitchell Evans.
Notre Dame's offensive line better be ready. Because against Texas, Ohio State lived in that backfield.
Oh, yes. Brought 3, brought 4, didn't bring much pressure, then brought pressure. Gave a couple different looks. So, it should be a good game. Monday, January 20th in Atlanta. It's going to be a great game. From the makeshift Gridiron Goon
Wait,
Studios.
isn't that the 20th?
Yeah. Monday the 20th. Monday, January the 20th
My apologies.
is the
I didn't
national
have
championship.
yeah.
Well, anyhow, from the makeshift Gridiron Goon Studios, I'm Preacher.
I'm Brandon.
Sean O'Mac.
We're backwards.
Well,
We're in the middle now.
Yeah, it's just out of character. It's
Yeah. Let's try it again.
Oh,
Do it. You do it again.
well, we're here at the makeshift Gridiron Goon Studios. I'm Preacher.
weird. No, you go.
No, you go. You're
Sean O'Mac.
And I'm Brandon. And this is Dallas.
And
And that's us, the Gridiron Goons, at the Gridiron Goon Studios.
he got
And always remember, when you don't know what they're talking about, don't say anything at all. This is your week. Say bye, Bob.
Bye bye.